Niggas, black people, whatever you calling yourselves these days, you're all doomed. You're all doomed. Most of you. And say a good 95% at this rate, doomed. So recently I'm watching this video posted by someone else on Instagram about Kanye West and him talking about Dr. Sebi. Now, as far as practices go, holistically speaking, Dr. Sebi was a trailblazer, a man who knew a lot and was unjustly murdered by the establishment over money he was carrying. They threw him in prison and gave him, or they just cut him off of his supply of herbs and things that he did to keep up his vitality. Let's just leave it at that. And he withered away and he died. Now, what I understand about Dr. Sebi is not an endorsement of any particular thing. It is just an acknowledgement. And that acknowledgement is he knew a lot. He definitely did. He understood a lot. So, getting back to the original point, I'm viewing this video, and I decided to make a comment on it, talking about an herbal biochemist, which is vastly different than an herbalist. You have herbal biochemist and you have herbalist. Those are not the same thing. Those are two different things. An herbalist is someone who understands the nature of plants in relation to certain healing properties. An herbal biochemist, on the other hand, is someone that knows the molecular structure of how certain things interact with the human body, even going so far as to understand the pharmaceutical things that you may have that are given to you by doctors and scientists, and how his plan for your health may interact with their plan for your health, which is taking it a step beyond. Anyway, I just finished responding to some random idiot who told me that, oh, an herbal biochemist, well, this guy doesn't know everything because no one knows everything. Nobody said that, you fucking idiot. When you have a foundation and a house is built, that doesn't mean that maintenance doesn't happen, that you don't continuously work on it, and you do this work based on newer information. The same way that they built houses back in the 1800s is not how they build houses now. Asbestos, anyone? I am done with you. Y'all. I'm naming this video Starbucks, by the way. And that's a little bit more of a microcosm of the insanity of liberals that have just permeated the mindset. Like Michael Eric Dyson just coming after this Virginia woman who just won the thing, and like the insanity and mental state of those who are calling themselves liberal and pro-black are just fucking stupid. They don't get it. They don't want to. those people work together. Republicans, whatever you want to call them, conservatives, they have this thing where they do take care of themselves, but they have this thing where they seemingly work together to accomplish things. You can see it in the recent passing of this bill. 5 months, 6 months, however long the fuck it took. These are all people along the same party lines that couldn't agree on a few key issues and had to go back and change shit 10 million fucking times. I don't understand liberals. I don't truck with them. I had to get the fuck out of New York City because of them. And as a result, my life has been thrown into chaos behind people being scared to death to let a handyman. I already had enough trouble as a handyman and plumber with my locks showing up to any job despite a stellar reputation in New York City. Already had enough problems behind that. And then they introduced this fear. That's all it was. That's all it is. It's fear. It's constant bombardment of fear. What's going to happen when you let this person in your house and they bring this disease in and they breathe on you? And I was out of work for I'm still out of work because I've had to move so many fucking times. I spent over $3,000 trying to keep my cat from being thrown into the street while maintaining a place to live, not having him with me. He's locked in a goddamn kennel. All of this is fucking chaos. It's chaos. And liberals, getting back to the original core point, love fucking chaos. While they sip they fucking lattes at Starbucks, they don't give a fuck if they are chained to black people protesting some shit and the shit falls off of a fucking cliff. As long as they got their parachute, they fine. And a blowtorch so they could cut us off at a moment's notice. They don't give a fuck. And their mentality has permeated every aspect, as I know it, of quote unquote black minds and black thinking. And it is still ingrained in their fucking heads. And I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it no more. But I am cutting ties with that mentality once and for all. Years and years and years ago, well, not even that long ago, I, as running a semi-successful handyman and plumbing service in New York, because it wasn't fully a business. It was a service I was providing as a service provider, and that's pretty much what it boiled down to, despite having a website and all of these credentials as far as, having insurance and all of this other shit. I had this thought where if I come up with a plan, let me start getting more reviews. Let me start getting more reviews. And somebody just tried to interrupt my fucking video with some bullshit spam call. Let me get more reviews for my business. So I started asking friends and family, even family members that were working with me, yo, leave reviews, we'll get more work. You know why? Because people believe what they read. People believe what they read. That even goes all the way back to War of the Worlds, where, at least more than likely, a few dozen people started to panic over a radio program. It was a show. It wasn't even real. So I had this thought, well, if we're already doing this and I got in a $30,000 job that just dropped out of the sky because I wasn't angling for jobs that big, just happened to come in. So I started thinking, listen, if this little bit of reputation that I currently have can pull in that, imagine how much damage we could do in the business world. I'm paying you guys a living wage. Let's, expand. Let's, get this thing really jumping off. Just start leaving reviews for the business. No, it was like pulling fucking teeth out of a goddamn crocodile to try to get people who are directly benefiting from what it was that I was doing to contribute. Long story short, maybe a year or two passes, and I run into this video, and you can look it up. It's called The Shed at Dulwich. The Shed at Dulwich was a video made by a Vice reporter. He made a video to see if he could get a restaurant to the top spot in London. And at the time he made the video, or decided to embark upon this journey of getting this restaurant to the number one spot, there were about 18,000 restaurants in London. And he did this all on TripAdvisor. So he started getting friends and, people to leave reviews for the business, for the restaurant. After 3 months, he cracked the top 2,000 videos, or 2,000, restaurants. He was in the top 2,000. At the end of 6 months, he was the number one restaurant in all of London. And the trick was, there was no fucking restaurant. It was all made up. But he did it to prove that reviews got people to call in. And people were leaving all kind of credentials, and I'm so-and-so, and you sure you can't, squeeze me in? I'm the captain of this industry, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm Mr. Important, and Mrs. Important. And these people believed what they saw. And the people that were right in front of me, my same skin color, who were directly benefiting from, either by 6 degrees of separation or directly monetarily benefiting from what it was that I was doing, did not lift a fucking finger to expand what it was that I was doing. And some may say, well, maybe you're not a good motivator. I don't know how $30 to $40 an hour cash is not a good motivator when I'm having you work with me for 3 or 4 hours, I'm buying you lunch, and I'm not asking you to do much outside of maybe hand me a tools whole list, and that's it. I wasn't, for the most part, when I call people on jobs, unless it was like a massive IKEA order, where it was like $10,000 or $5,000 worth of furniture to put together, I didn't need assistance. I've put up kitchen cabinets by myself. I've changed toilets by myself. There are a lot of things that I could have done by myself that I didn't necessarily have to call in any assistance for. I just did. Just to get out of there faster and to help someone out. It was twofold. It was to put some money in somebody's pocket, to show them how much I appreciate them, and to show them how much more we could get if only they would contribute something. But the liberal mind, this is what they do. And I am so fucking done with the liberal mind. And that's all for today, folks. I've been wanting to make this video for a little while, and I'm just fucking tired of people. I really am.